If you know that you can feel better than you do right now, but aren't sure how, that's why we created the Roadmap to Feeling Good, the Total Wellness Plan. We have all of the tools and guidance that will be individually tailored to help understand your condition and meet your specific needs. Feeling good feels good.
Welcome back to Beyond the Brand, the podcast where we uncover the stories behind the businesses shaping the industries they're in. Today, we're diving into health, movement, and entrepreneurship with someone that truly embodies all three. My guest today is Dr. Zachary Tripp, the founder of Brewerytown Chiropractic, a practice dedicated to movement-based wellness and total body health. Dr. Tripp, welcome. Before we get into it, you want to just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you got into it.
Thanks for having me, or thanks for being in my office. This is my space. I was so happy when Major reached out to me, and even happier when he was going to come down into the office so you could all see the office. Having a great environment, I think, is a really important part of this, and that's something that I've been just looking to grow the environment in the office so that we can take care of the environment outside of the office. So. Quickly, just a basic on chiropractor. I emphasize chiro because chiro means hand. So the word chiropractor means provider from the hand, all right? Basically, our job is to treat our patients by using our hands. Natural alternatives, nutrition, sleep, posture, whatever it may be. Anything other than drugs or surgery. Not against those things. Those things obviously help people in countless ways, are important, but as just a complement to them. So where we are today in our practice is really just trying to completely fill that role as a complementary role so that people can have truly holistic health. This April, was kind of crazy to say, I will have been graduated for 10 years. I started the practice in January of 2026, so it's been about a little over 9 years since we've been in Brewerytown, operating Brewerytown Chiropractic.
Have you always been in Brewerytown as well, right?
When I owned my business, yes, yeah. I've only been here. I was down the street. I had another office that was, it was an old doctor's office, and developers bought our building, and what I wanted to do was knock the wall down and then create the Brewerytown Wellness Center, yeah. Right? I had PT, I had acupuncturist, I had massage. Everybody was on board, ready to go, right? And then the developers were like, this is great, the community needs this, we love it, right? And then the next day I got a letter in the mail saying, actually, get out.
Oh, they gaslit
yeah, they did. They definitely did. So I was disappointed for the community, for the people that I was going to be working with, and had to find an attorney. Actually, somebody that we both know helped me out, and it was a little messy, but we had to find a new space, and we found this space really quickly. It wasn't necessarily built for a doctor's office. As you can see, maybe we'll show the space. It's just like 3 open rooms, but we made it work, and it's taking us in a different direction that I'm actually thrilled about. So It all works out.
Before we get started, what's something that most people don't know about you?
Most people don't know about me.
Yeah.
I think when people from my childhood life, who know me outside of work, are surprised at my work, and people who see me at work are surprised when they see me out of work, right? So I would say what I mean by that is, growing up, I saw a need to improve the overall health and wellness of this community. I grew up here, right? So it's something I'm very passionate about. So if you saw my younger self, you'd be like, wait, that guy is a chiropractor who takes care of people now, right? He couldn't even take care of himself. So through learning about how to, grow and take care of myself, I learned a lot, and now that I take care of people every day, I learn something new from each of them. So I would say something that people don't know about me is that I've been through this process, maybe at a different level than, everybody's at a different kind of area of where they are in their life and their wellness journey and their growth process. And, I've been through that as a patient myself as well.
What led you to chiropractic care? I know you said you're surprised that,
It's a really good question. Very strange moments that led me to this. The first one was I was taking a class, and the class was about different cultures and different medicines and different alternative medicines that they used. And when they were talking about American culture and American alternative medicines, a chiropractor came in. And I was at the point in my life where I was like, okay, I kind of pulled myself out of maybe some not so good stuff. Now I need to see what's the good stuff I can, bring in. So I was very receptive that year or whatever, just kind of looking. Yeah. And it was right time, right place. A chiropractor came in, started talking about his life, how he was able to help people, his role in the community, the life he built for himself and his family. And I said, okay, I could learn more about this. Yeah. And I did my class project in that class on chiropractic. Part of it was learning about the schools, all these things. So the more I learned about it, the more I just saw it as something that could really fit my passion and my skills too. Yeah. I studied sociology, anthropology, always just been really curious about people, how people operate, what makes them, growth is something that I think I've always been interested in, and even just watching athletes as a kid get better, get better. You have the little video games when you're a kid. You create the player, you make them get better, better. You see it on TV. Character development, those things. So just seeing people evolve was something that was really interesting to me. Anthropology, you study evolution, you study biology, science. So there was just a natural fit, and I didn't know about chiropractic, and when I saw it, it was like, okay, this kind of fits my interests and my skills, and I can help serve people too, which was something that I knew in my career I wanted to be an asset to people and to life, yeah.
And did you work for somebody else prior before you're like, hey, let me start my own practice?
Yep. So I was doing coverage when I first got out, just kind of like dabbling in other people's office. Hey, can you cover me while I'm on vacation? Mm-hmm. And then I reached out to one of my greatest mentors, Dr. Neil Liebman in Pennsauken, New Jersey, Advanced Chiropractic. If you're in Pennsauken, definitely check him out. He's amazing, great guy. He's the longest tenured medical person for any professional sports team. So he's been the Sixers chiropractor for like 30 years. In professional sports, there's a lot of turnover in who's doing the job of the medical staff. But he's just such a good person with such great skills that they've kept him on forever. So I was very lucky to have him as my first official hire, and he trained me. It was only a short period of time. And I basically had the opportunity, okay, I can stick with Dr. Neil in New Jersey. And then I was walking and I saw that space down the street that I told you about, the old doctor's office, right? And I saw that was open. And there was kind of a point where I had to make the call. And while it would have been really cool working with him, working with all these professional athletes, I knew that the reason I got into this was to continue to evolve the health and wellness of our community in Philadelphia, Brewerytown, North Philly, Fairmount area. So,
okay, so like this is my community, this is where I want to stay, like my plan, vision is Philadelphia.
Yep. I didn't know how hard it was going to be. I didn't realize how many bumps in the road, but I would make the same decision today. So I'm happy I did it.
Let's talk a little bit about that. So how was starting the business? What were some challenges you faced? I know, especially in the healthcare space, you have to apply for like insurance and this and that. How was that setting up?
Okay, so you set me up for a really good chiropractic promo right now. Okay. So our malpractice insurance is like
say it
nothing.
Again. Say it again so the camera hears you. So.
You set me up for a very nice chiropractic promo. Yeah. Our malpractice insurance is like next to nothing, right? You're asking about healthcare insurance, right? You've dabbled in this stuff too. You know it can be just crazy, but because when we work with people, it's very low risk. There's a lot of misconceptions that chiropractors can hurt people in all of these different ways. And I've been in here for 10 years. Maybe people have been sore, but just look at how much we're paying in our malpractice insurance. If we actually hurt people, they would be charging us crazy premiums. It is just like nothing compared to a hospital, medical doctor. Obviously we're not doing, some of the more, emergent things, right, that are riskier. So we're not doing as many life-saving maneuvers, but just to speak to some of the misconceptions, it's really, really safe. It's just, if you go to somebody good versus who's not good, you're just going to get way better results.
Yeah, it's actually good. It's funny that you said some of the misconceptions of like chiropractic. That's why I wanted to follow up with that. It's like, ask you about that. It's like, what are some things that, you think the public, misconstrues about, what you all do?
That's a really good question. Okay, I'll ask you this. What happens if, say you go to a barber shop and you don't like the haircut? What happens the next time your hair is growing?
I just don't go back.
Well, you just don't get your hair cut?
Oh, no, I find another barber.
You find another barber,
Yeah.
right? When people go to a chiropractor as their first experience, and it's not a good first experience, what do a lot of people do?
Just don't go back at all.
They don't go back to any chiropractor, right?
Yeah.
So there's a huge misconception that we're all the same, right? But just like barbers and restaurants, there's different degrees of skill and specialty. So as I said in the beginning, chiro means hand. So basically we're just using our hands in natural medicine to help you. And there's so many different ways that you can do that. So when people have a bad experience, they just completely write it off. So I would say just understanding that, it's not all the same and there's so much variety. Finding somebody who fits you, is really an essential tool, asset to your life, to have somebody who can take care of your normal day-to-day aches, pains, stress, sleep without giving you pharmaceutical medicine or surgery.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And it's actually funny because I interviewed somebody else and they shouted you out.
Oh, no way.
As well, yeah. And in terms of trying to help them out, with their total wellness and everything that they were going through. Yeah, let's talk about the business and growing it.
Yep.
What are some ways that you went about getting your first clients and making them come back a little?
As chiropractors, we spend so much time studying clinical skills. We have zero business training, and I didn't know that I had zero business training, and it was until it was time to run a business. I knew that I knew how to take care of people, and my understanding was, okay, if I just take care of people, the business will just fall into place, and that's not true. You need to have business skills to protect yourself. So first question was, how did I start getting clients? Again, I opened up in the community where I was mostly raised, and I thought that would just bring people in. That was also not the case. People will say, hey, what's up? I'm glad you're opening the business. And some people did show up and show out, which I'm so appreciative of. But, it's really not like that. So, I met you, right, through BNI, right, business networking. So just finding any way to network with people face-to-face as well as online. If I didn't have patients, I would stand outside on Girard Ave with my spine, and anybody walking by, hey, do you know what this is? Hey, have you been into a chiropractor before? And just
it's a lot of foot traffic too.
There's a lot of foot traffic, and that was good, but I didn't have any systems, and what I didn't realize I was doing is I was testing different systems without knowing it and seeing what worked, right? And eventually, when I first started out, social media, I don't think there was as many like algorithms, or it wasn't as crowded or overpopulated. So it did really work in getting new patients in. So for a lot of the few first year, months, whatever it may be, I really did put a lot into social media. I don't know that that's what I would do now if I was just starting out, just because it is so densely populated. I would still have it, but it wouldn't be my primary lead generator at all.
So what is your primary lead generator right now? Because you have a pretty nice following on social media. So I always thought that, you got a lot of clients from there as well.
I do, and I did. And I think word of mouth is the best, right? within reason. I don't think you can force somebody to try something they don't want to try. So a lot of times people are like, oh, I want to bring my wife in, I want to bring my husband in, I want to bring my friend in. And they don't typically become the best clients. The people who become the best patients or clients are people who are already looking for you. So I would say putting yourself in places where those people are, right? So yeah, social media is one, and you can do targeted ads on there, which are really great. Search engine ads, search engine optimization. So people who are looking for you, right, can find you. Maybe going into spaces like a yoga studio, workout gyms, people who are already taking care of their health, and just having your brand be strong and be in places that are seen by people who are already looking for what you have.
Yeah.
Maybe I got a little off track there.
No. That was a great answer. Okay. So do you handle all of that yourself? Your branding, the marketing, sales?
So I do Instagram. I have a camera crew person who comes in here, and once a month we just film like 15 to 17 videos. Okay. And I'll plan those out throughout the course of the month. I definitely try to just incorporate new things. The thing with social media is once you have something that's good, people are just going to copy it, right? And then it's no longer unique.
Yeah.
So while we'll do the 15 videos, stuff that works, I always try to try something new, try something engaging, get people engaged, get people on viewing, sharing, whatever it may be. So while social media is great, you have to be able to not be stuck on the same thing over and over again. Because if it works, everybody copies it, everybody's doing it, and then you just blend in. So for social media, my best thing would just be, truly it's a creator space. Just, maybe it's oversaid, but create. Yeah. And just try new things, and that's what it's for.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things also, I always tell people is like, don't try to compare what everybody else is doing. Just kind of stay in your own lane and make your own specific type of content, and just like post it.
Yeah.
Because once you start comparing to what other people are posting, it's like, damn, you're starting to look like everybody else. So like at that point, it's like, you're not being unique at that point, right?
Yes.
But I think always people are so like lost in that like count or the view count. It's like, oh, I always have to get the views. But like if you're reaching your specific audience, right, it doesn't matter if you're not getting that many views, because like you've reached 300 people that are legitimately trying to buy from you. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so.
And it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
It's definitely easy to look at other people in your space and be like, oh, this person's got so many likes or whatever, but you don't know what's going on in the background.
Yeah.
They might have 1 million likes, but it might not be that those likes are generating.
They're not generating anything.
And for posts, right, it only takes one, right? If I had with a really good offer, with a really good system for processing patients in place, if I get one person for each post, and I'm posting 30 times a month, that's 30 new patients. So likes or whatever that may be are good, and they help people see you as somebody that people like, which is good for brand awareness. But really, it only takes one. So if you get one person from one of your posts, you're killing it.
Yeah.
If you have the right business in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Tagline. What is your tagline?
My tagline is feeling good feels good.
Awesome. So how do you use that tagline to communicate your branded messaging?
Okay. I'll tell you two things about that. One is why I switched over to it from a business marketing perspective for entrepreneurs watching this. And then another one is for maybe prospective patients who want to understand what that means. So my first tagline was get moving in the right direction, which didn't feel really like it was appropriate. I didn't know why. And then my next one was put yourself in good hands. And that also didn't feel correct, and I didn't understand why. I was listening to a podcast about marketing, and I forget who was speaking, but this marketing guru woman was on there, And she said that people only want to hear things that they already know. They don't want to be convinced of something. You don't want to have to try to drag people into something new, right? So get moving. Like, I don't want to have to try to pull somebody to get moving. Put yourself in good hands. I'm convincing someone to put themselves in my hands. Feeling good feels good. Who can argue with that? You know, like it's just a matter of fact. So when people see that, it's automatic that they agree with it and they feel comfortable. And the example that she gave of how this became something that she used in her marketing clients was a diamond is forever. Okay? So wedding bands, people knew that they symbolized eternity, right? The circle symbolizes eternity. And people also knew that diamonds last forever.
Yeah.
Diamonds didn't used to be in wedding bands. They were just a circle. But a diamond company came across with that tagline, a diamond is forever, and people are already familiar. That makes sense. You're not convincing them, so they were very quick to buy. And that's something I try to keep in with all the marketing, is not trying to force people to do something they're not comfortable with, make it easy and accessible. Hold on, that last one. So the two things I want to say for feeling good feels good for prospective patients are that it doesn't have to be difficult. Feeling good should be easy, and that's how you know it's working. And two, that everybody deserves to feel good, and it's easy to get access to services that help you feel good.
You have a mix of, you have a strategy of a mix of education, humor, and like behind the scenes content as well. So what is your strategy for making like care approachable on social media? And how do you feel like, and how do you make like education content not boring?
Not boring. Okay, that's a really good question. I think my main goal on social media is to connect with people, and I understand that not everybody is going to connect with the same thing, so I do try to have that variety, where some people might feel really comfortable with somebody who's very professional, you know, very straightforward. Other people might feel more comfortable with somebody who they can relate to a little bit easier. And doing those things without losing myself and losing my brand. So I can show the work that I do, you know, the professional services that I provide, and I can also show who I am as a person, so people can connect with me on a personal level. And doing those are also being true to myself and being true to my brand. So I'm not losing myself in doing that.
And you don't have a personal page. It's literally just Brewerytown Chiropractic.
I used to have a personal page, and eventually I realized, okay, I posted something personal on my Philly Chiro page, and it would just get the most traction. You know, patients would come in and say, hey, I saw you doing this with your family. That's so cool. And
people want to connect with the brand.
Yeah, exactly. So I have an old personal page that I used to use, but now I just do everything on Philly Chiro because it helps me connect with more people. So I would say be myself, understanding that people want to be educated and entertained.
Yeah.
Right?
Trying to find the mix between both.
Yeah, finding a way that you're doing both. So asking myself, am I educating somebody? Am I entertaining somebody? Am I relating to somebody? Not just, I want to pull you into my thing that you don't know about yet, right? So connecting with them, entertaining them.
Yeah.
And now there's so much out there. You really have to hook them at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right? So you'll see all these people with these different hooks, and there's a reason for that, because it works.
Yeah.
Right? So definitely those first like few seconds, the caption, you know, what you say, the thumbnail, that's like the most important thing of the post.
And you might work with like marathon runners, desk workers, or like, you know, just like women in general that, you know, might just had a baby, or things like that. So if you had different methods of how you go about trying to assess their needs, and you know.
Yes, there's different forms of treatment that we will do, but assessing them is always the same. We want to understand the person. We want to understand what's bringing them in. You know, maybe their shoulder hurts or their knee hurts. Okay, that doesn't really move the needle. Like people they'll push through pain. Generally, there's some reason that they're coming in here. They're worried about their health because they saw their parents' health deteriorate. They want to be there for their kids. They want to be good at work so they can provide, income. They want to be able to participate in team sports so they can be around their friends. So the assessment is really just getting to the bottom of what's going on for you, and why is this so important. And then once we understand that, we have the goal, right?
Yeah.
And we have where they are. Then creating that path really becomes easy, and we just listen to their body, right? Their body is saying different things. Yeah.
What's one total wellness thing that you can tell everybody, no matter what?
Sure.
What can they practice every single day?
Yeah. And you're absolutely right, Majorie, that there are different chiropractors with different areas of specialty, right? That might fit a different patient with a different need, different comfort level, and how much they want care or how little they want care. So it is really important to find what they're looking for and make sure that not only we understand what they want, but they understand what we provide, and that's something that they feel comfortable with. You asked about total wellness.
Yeah. Do you have a specific, type of client that you focus on, or it's kind of like all over?
Yeah. So total wellness is a program that we do here. We're always looking for ways to help people, and chiropractic adjustments are extremely effective at helping people break the cycle of feeling stressed and feeling pain and feeling tense. The only problem is when they walk out of the office, they might just go back to doing the things that they were doing in the first place that made them in pain, tense, or stressed out. So with Total Wellness, basically we do health and wellness coaching using functional medicine, stress management, rehab, exercise, PT, mindfulness. And different people will need different aspects of that at different times. But to make it really simple, it's just so crazy how much everything comes back to the basics. Are you moving? Are you putting good things in your body, good food, staying hydrated? Are you shutting down your body? Are you resting at night? Are you taking care of your mindset? Being in nature, being around good people, taking time to relax, meditate, read a book, whatever it may be. And if you think about that, right? If you think about those questions and you're not feeling good, there's probably one area that's lacking.
Okay.
Yep. And if you can just think about that question and just give a little attention, and again, it doesn't need to be hard, just starting with a little attention, right? Say you don't eat well at all. Okay, well maybe I can just start having eggs for breakfast. Whatever else I eat, everything else can stay the same, but maybe I can just start with this one thing, one change. And you'll be surprised at how that snowballs.
Yeah.
So looking at the different areas of your life, mental health, physical health, environmental health, where is that off? And can you just maybe give a little gentle encouragement, direction there, and you'll be surprised at how things change.
What's one thing that you think everybody can change? Like just one simple thing that you think most people are lacking that they don't even realize.
Sleep with the lights out. Use an eye mask. Definitely make sure there's no TV screens left on, street lights coming in the window. Making sure you're shutting your brain down at night is really, really important. And then in the morning, get water. If you can get sunlight, if the sun is up, get sunlight. If you can get some protein, some eggs or a protein shake before you go to work, before you rush, before you get into your frantic day, and before you have coffee, all right? So letting yourself shut down at the end of the day, and then letting yourself wake up in the morning time, you're really setting the stage for everything else. So if you can get your morning and your nighttime routine down, everything else is going to just be much, much easier.
I mean, we talked a lot about the, wellness aspect of it and how it got started and the type of people that you kind of worked with. So let's talk a little bit more about the business sides of things. So what would you do all over again if if you had to, focus and restart this business? I know you said you wouldn't focus on social media, so what would you do?
I would still have a social media. I mean, if I was starting in 2016 again, I would definitely do social media.
Okay.
But in 2026, if I was going to do everything differently...
2026 or 2025? Yeah,
2025, sorry. I'm already thinking to hear it to that 10-year anniversary, right? Yeah. So some things would not change. Excellent service, patient care, clinical skills, right? You have to be confident in what you're doing. Yes, you can start new, and you have to start new, and you have to start somewhere. But whatever you're delivering has to be good. Maybe not the best right away, because if it's not good, then you're not going to feel good delivering it, right? So I would continue just really being excellent at the care we provide. If I had to start over, I would say understanding the value of time, understanding sales, understanding core operational things that I didn't know. I definitely would have started with more business books, more classes. So there's a misconception that in healthcare, and I think in chiropractic in particular, that you don't want to be like a business person, right? But the healthier your business is, the healthier your patients are going to be. The more they understand expectations, the value they're receiving, being priced accurately. If you charge them very cheap rates, they might not match that with high value, right? And understanding that even though you're in healthcare, your business is part of your wellness too. So you really have to have a healthy business. And didn't understand that starting out, but learned pretty quickly.
What are systems or processes that you help put in place that help scale your chiropractic business?
I would say the most important thing is having one or a couple core offers that you can just be excellent at, right? So as you mentioned about having these diverse groups of people coming in, if you're trying to cater to each person and build out a widely different treatment plan for each person, you're going to be burning out. You're going to be okay at some, not great at others, really good at some. So if you have a process that you master, that's really essential. And that can be one thing, it can be a couple things. And then if people don't fit that process that you have, that's okay. There's other people, just like we talked about, there's different barbershops, right? Yeah. There's other chiropractors out there. So if they don't match what you do, that's okay. You can find people that do match. You don't need to have every single person match what you do. You don't need to save every single person. But you do need to be really good at what you do and be clear about telling patients what that is.
Yeah. You also said that you're going into like yoga studios to, try to solicit some new clients and things like that. Are there any other referral partners that you created relationships with to help, grow the business?
Those are, always growing, always looking for new people to partner with. In person, on social media. Now you can collaborate on social media. Yeah. So getting in contact with people who have those, that reach of the people who are going to be looking for your service. So knowing who matches the service that you provide, right? And just seeing where those people are. So yoga studio. We did a talk last week at the workout gym down the street, helping people understand why they have back pain and letting them know that we can take care of it. It doesn't need to be crazy difficult, and tracking which one of the people you work with actually helps you get leads, and putting your time and effort into those people. So if I had 10 people I was trying to work with and get leads from, if one gives me 20 and one gives me 1, if I focus more on building that relationship with the one who's giving me 20 leads, I'm going to be more successful than if I spend my time trying to work with all 10.
Yeah.
So seeing who you connect with and who you genuinely connect with, just like you don't need every patient, you don't need every single referral source. Finding who fits you, understanding you don't need to be with every single person, and being comfortable with that.
What are some advice that you would give to someone looking to start their own practice and don't know where to start?
So definitely understanding what your skills are, understanding what your skills are not, in terms of clinical, but also business and mindset, right? Understanding the mindset of maybe what's holding you back. Why haven't you started that business yet? What are you scared of? Why are you scared of it? And working through those things so that you don't get caught up. And just practicing working on those things, because you're going to encounter a next one. You're going to encounter the next one. As you know, when you try to grow and scale to new levels or you try to do a new thing, yes, there's external factors that may be holding you back, but a lot of times there's some internal factors, like this doesn't feel good, I'm a little nervous about this, what is that? So just getting really good at understanding your own internal hiccups, your own internal barriers, recognizing when they show up and taking care of them as quickly as possible, leaving it behind so you can get to the next thing.
As a business owner, especially with everything going on, how do you handle burnout? I know you just have a new baby as well, so, and especially like in the industry that that requires so much like physical, like emotional, like connection as well. Like how do you go about making sure that you're not stressed out, your mental health as well. I know you spoke a little bit about going to Costa Rica for 3 months. He said I'm out of here. But, what else do you do?
That was really good, and we could talk for a whole nother episode about this stuff. But I will say, if I could summarize it, pay attention to what feels good, what restores you, and don't worry about what other people think about it, right? So, I love spending time with my family. I love spending time with my dogs. And maybe my friends might criticize me, you don't go out, you don't do this. That doesn't feel good for me.
I got family, bro.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. Or even just like, things that maybe you never tried before. For instance, I always had this stereotypical view of golf of like this really boring, wealthy, uptight sport, right? I tried it and I was like, oh my goodness, I feel so good just being out in nature, just being away from stuff. So going towards what feels good, even if it feels new, unnatural, it probably will feel a little uncomfortable, and you can lean into that. So doing the things outside of the office that help you restore, regardless of what other people say you should be doing to restore yourself or what other people think you should be doing. And then finding in work the things that drain you, right? And then understanding, one, why is this draining me? Okay, is that something I can just reframe in my mind? Or two, is that just who I am? This is something that takes way too much energy from me, and can I outsource that? So if I'm spending time on this one paperwork thing that maybe is an important part of my business but not huge, and I'm just like putting it off, I'm procrastinating it, and is that something I can just have somebody else do for me? Right? So finding things that drain you and just understanding, is this something that I can work around internally, and if it's not, can I have somebody else do it for me? So that way you have less things that are draining you, and outside of the office you have things that really replenish you. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So what's next? What's next for Brewerytown in the next 5 to 10 years?
So I'm really into growing my total wellness program, and always into making this a better place, right? So just making Brewerytown Chiropractic, this location, this practice, better and better, the environment better, the patient experience better, our clinical skills better. And for me personally, I'm interested in growing my total wellness program. And then I'm going to begin training other providers in total wellness. So offer it as a workshop, an accreditation, a certificate, so that other chiropractors can also learn all these other aspects of ways that they can help people, and create a total wellness program where I can train other chiropractors to be total wellness doctors.
So did you have to get certified for that?
I made it up. I made total wellness.
That's a business.
Yep. So other chiropractors will have to get certified in it. Absolutely.
Yeah. By you? Or?
Yeah, by me. Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
That's amazing. That's a great way to new ways to generate revenue. Like, look at that, right?
I mean, that's how everything starts. Somebody makes it up and creates a certification, and other people who want to provide that type of care,
do it.
They have to follow the protocol, and it's not even necessarily like I made it up. Now you've got to take
it's something
this.
you've been practicing.
It's something that I'm passionate about, and it can not only help patients but help chiropractors, because chiropractors get stuck, and you say you might be in here, we're working for 15-20 minutes, and I can get you better, but I see all these other different ways that I can help you, and I know you need more help, and I know I have the knowledge and skill to do it, but I just don't know how to deliver it.
Yeah.
Right? So I've created a very easy way for chiropractors to deliver it with, of course.
That.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's a couple rapid fire questions
All
for
right,
you.
let's do it.
All right. So your go-to recovery tool that you recommend, foam roller or ice baths?
So ice baths are great for, I would say, pre-workout, right? You can actually get a lot of, testosterone, blood pumping. You can really get your muscles ready for a workout. In terms of bath, I would say that magnesium salt baths are better for after a workout. Okay. It's going to get your muscles really relaxed, get you ready for bed. So if you're looking at like ice versus cold in terms of exercise, you almost want to think cold before, which is counterintuitive because we think it's going to make us tight. But when you take away the cold, you have all these endorphins, you have all this blood pumping through your muscles, and then the warm baths, warm showers will relax you at the end of the day.
So ice baths.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Even just a cold shower. If you don't have access to an ice bath, try turning on the cold water for 30 seconds, see if you can breathe through it before you run. You might feel more energy.
One health myth that you wish people would stop believing.
Ooh, that's a good one. One health myth that people should stop believing. I would say that you're either strong or you're flexible, right? I just did a video on this, a reel on Instagram, where people think it's like a seesaw, like I'm either flexible or I'm strong. A more accurate metaphor is actually like base and treble. You want them both to be high. So you want to be strong and flexible. And if you are strong, you don't necessarily have to be bulky. You see a lot of people who don't want to put on pounds worry about being strong. Having a strong body does not mean you need to look like a muscle builder, but to have a long, healthy life, you do need some foundational strength.
If you weren't a chiropractor, what would you be doing?
I like to cook, but that's probably too much of a stressful business. I love playing Dynasty fantasy football. So a friend of mine and I dabbled in the podcast there. So if I'm not doing chiropractic, think about things that I like doing just naturally. I can nerd out on, draft prospects for Dynasty football for hours. So I would probably be pursuing something in that or coaching. I love coaching too.
Dr. Tripp, thank you so much. Incredible conversation. Your approach to movement, wellness, entrepreneurship. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm sure that a lot of people got some valuable information on how to go about growing and starting a chiropractic business. Where can people find you, follow your journey, and book an appointment?
So we're at Philly Chiro on TikTok and Instagram. Instagram is my main channel where I focus a lot of my attention. I'm really accessible on there. If you're commenting, I'm the one commenting back. If you're messaging, I'm the one messaging back. So please reach out, ask me questions. I love engaging with people. Brewerytownchiropractic.com is our website. That's where we book all of our appointments. So if you just want to get in and start getting care, you can start right now. You don't have to wait. You can be under good care today. Just go to the website and you can just pay for a session, or if you want a total wellness assessment, I actually do those for free. So you can start getting your total wellness in order today at no cost just by going to our website.
Thank you so much. And if you enjoyed the conversation, please like, share, and subscribe for more real stories on entrepreneurs shaping their industries. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope this inspires you to grow.
Thank you, Majorine.
Thank you.